So it's October 10th. I had quite a few entries yesterday. Um, anyway, I was thinking about how I've been feeling stressed, and in my stress the past few days, um, what form that stress comes into. And I have, in the past, come to realize there's a difference between stress and tension. I first ran into a rather psychological understanding of tension um, with Oswald Spengler and his general, I'm generalizing big time, but the productivity of tension and needing to be in a state of tension. And I thought about it in my own life, and I realized, yeah, the stress is the thing that becomes dysfunctional or non-productive. But when I'm in a high form of conditioning, say with my physical therapy, my body's in a state of tension, but it's processing the energy in a functional way. So it's when I get stressed, there becomes a blockage in the processing of the energy. And for me, with my low back injury, I get symptoms of pain, painful symptoms. And so the past few years, I've been embarking on, well, when I was younger, this whole line of thought started when I thought about my age. I'm 42 this year, and then I thought about how old I was when my dad was 42 and I was 14. My youngest daughter's 21. So I have children in their 20s at 42. And my dad had yet to have a child in his turned 20. So at this age, at the same age, and I use my father as an object lesson of, okay, where was he at this age? Then I can have some type of comparison and contrast between myself and him. In the most general sense, my father has his own life, he's made his own decisions, and my decisions have been much different than his. So, but not really that different. There's a similarity at a level, but then as we differentiate ourselves, as we become more specific, we part our ways. But generally, I use them as a good old-fashioned object lesson. And with this thinking, I got upset with my cat today. My cat, I forgot to feed him this morning, and he was noticeably perturbed when I came back. He had rummaged through some foodstuffs that I had left laying around. And I had lost my temper, and I thought about, why did I snap like that? Why did that negative tendency arise? And the reason why I use this term negative tendency is I read it in the biography of Joseph Campbell, Fire in the Mind, and he had written a letter to one of his friends when he was in his 20s, I want to say, stating that he had found or discovered a way to process his negative tendencies. And so I use that term as a result of that, because I found that when I was younger, life presented situations in which I had to adapt to, and life did this just fine. The general overall influences in my life placed requirements upon me to which I had to adapt to. And that was fine for a time, but now that I'm older, I realize I needed to make that happen for myself. And as far as adapting into a new situation, it's not so much as creating a new situation for me as remaining in a state of tension, a high form of conditioning that challenges me, and trying to refrain, not go too far as to create a stressful situation. And I realized what comes along with needing to put myself in this state rather than just releasing to life's whimsies, because they can be very sporadic and toss a person about endlessly with no real aim. What I realized was that I needed, in order to regulate the state of tension, I needed to also create states of pleasure, pleasurable states that release excess tension.